Welcome to the channel for the first time viewers. Welcome back for my existing subscribers. Today I'm going to share a couple of tips with you just to help you get a little bit better at Rainbow Six Siege and kind of get you on the same page of what I'm working on myself. So I finally hit plat again on PC for the first time since not last season but the season before. And one thing I'm starting to see is that, I had to start working on the angles that I was holding. Like you can see right here, the pacing is much faster. Maverick already knew where I was at. He was getting ready to peek and pre-fire me, but I was already waiting. I was ready for anything to move by that opening. So as soon as he poked his head out, I was ready to shoot him. But that is one of those things that you really have to work on, because it's just one of those things that will literally make or break you the higher the level of play that you are in. So when I was in the lower golds and the silver, I didn't really go down to silver, but I was playing in lobbies with silvers as I was first solo queuing. And now that I'm up in the high gold and plat meta, these gunfights are much quicker. They're a lot more visceral. So it's definitely something that I had to force myself to work on, is just get into the habit of just moving much quicker and making more decisive decisions, and just like going for it. And just, if I'm gonna die, then I gotta die going full speed and not just waiting for people to peek me and different things like that. So the only time I will hold a hard angle is if I know I have an advantage. Later on here you'll see what I mean. It's kind of like holding an angle at head height and just firing as soon as a color changes, pretty much. So that's the only time I hold an angle. Other than that, it'll be more of a I gotta go get them before they get me type of situation. So another thing is not ADSing as much as I do now. You'll see in this IQ clip I ADS a lot, but what I've been working on lately is kind of taking cover, getting out of my ADS and kind of getting a wider field of view, and then ADSing and working on my first shot accuracy. So this is something I used to have a pretty good first shot accuracy back in the day when I was in the lower metas, but it's kind of gotten away from me, so I need to get back into that grind. If you just got this game around Christmas or just got it recently, I would definitely recommend playing a lot of Terrorist Hunt so they can get your aim down right. Aiming in this game is very important. Obviously it's a shooting game, but with the first shot headshot mechanic, it's critical that your first shot you make it count, because you get in a lot of gunfights before they even get a shot back at you. This is one of those clips that I was talking about earlier in this video, where I was holding the angle because I knew I was going to have an advantage as soon as the time came. I knew there was a defender around this doorway here, so I pretty much just waited for him to peek me, as it was a 1v5. And essentially these situations are not as hard to win as you would think, because these guys get really aggressive. Like even in a rank, they get really aggressive because they get really comfortable. So even when we're up, sometimes I have to tell my teammates to just kind of chill out and don't be too crazy, because these types of situations, although this one didn't go my way, it could have just as easily ended up being a 1v5 clutch, and it would have been an easy win. So this one right here is right where I die. You'll see it right there. I just missed her, but that would have been the difference between a win and a loss of that round. But they were just getting really aggressive, and like I said, it was just one of those situations where just a half an inch difference on the screen, I would have pretty much nailed it right in the forehead. But I didn't, so it's just an advantage that I gave up, and I probably should have peeked that opening a little bit slower. But at the same time, you kind of got to roll with the punches. And then I wasn't 100% sure where she was. You saw me pre-fire earlier in that round, but I just didn't know. A final tip that I have for you guys as I wrap up this video is that Humble Bundle, I mean, most of my views come over time. At the time of recording this video, the base game of Rainbow Six Siege on Humble Bundle is like $12 right now instead of $39. So I would recommend picking up another account just so that you can solo queue, but make sure it has a decent amount of operators, because you can get these accounts. I wouldn't say like the starter edition, because there's a lot involved with the starter edition on PC, but I would say make an account to solo queue and commit to just playing a lot of ranked. The more ranked you play, the more you'll get used to certain play styles and certain angles that people hold, and then you'll be able to better adjust. So I would definitely recommend that in the future. But if you have any tips for anybody else in the comment section, go ahead and leave a comment, and I will touch base with you guys in the next video. Be easy.